Hello, my healing hotties. My name is Mar Noir Sinclair, and welcome to Her Healing TV, a podcast where I teach women to rebuild, rebrand, and reclaim themselves after dealing with trauma. This is where discipline meets divinity, where emotional control becomes power, and where transformation is intentional, not chaotic. Before we get started today, I just want to let y'all know that I I decompress so hard before I come and talk to you all. Like I get comfy, I get into the sweats, the t-shirt. I make sure I didn't had a snack. I like to get real comfy before I come in politic with you. But yeah, so getting into today. We are in episode 5 of this healing journey, and I have a question for you all. Have you stopped and looked at your life recently and realized you don't recognize the woman you're becoming? Would this new you make the old you nervous? And not because you're worse, but because you have evolved. Do you have boundaries now? Are you moving with intention? Do you not tolerate what you used to? If yes to one or all of these questions, that level of growth can be intimidating, especially to the person that you used to be. That brings me to the title of today's episode, Becoming the Woman the Old You Would Be Intimidated By. So I want to talk about the old you for a moment. The you that was built for survival. The old you that was operating at such a high stress level that your body was on autopilot, just moving and not thinking. The old you that had habits that protected you at the time, meaning you did what you had to do in order to keep the peace and please everyone around you. Those habits may have looked like or included keeping yourself small, shrinking to make others comfortable, agreeing to things that you don't want to for love or to be seen by your partner, tolerating disrespect, saying yes when you really want to say no. And last but not least, bending your worth knowing damn well you deserve better. So you were doing these things just to make it through the day. Some of you are still doing these things. You are letting other people walk all over you because you're scared to go rogue and go against the grain. Now ask me how I know these things. I was you. I shrunk myself because I was in love. Y'all can't see my air quotations, but they're there. I was in love. I did things I didn't want to do because I wanted this person to love me. I was trying so freaking hard to prove myself to this guy like a fucking pick-me. And it's what my daughter would call cringe. Looking back, y'all, I cannot believe that I dumbed myself down and dimmed my light so much for a guy that I could easily replace. It literally physically makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it now. And so that's why I'm here today, to save you from what I did or help you get to a place where you never do that again. Don't ever do that shit again. And so looking back on a lot of my old behavior, I want to vomit. Like literally, I want to throw up. So that's how I know from experience. And like me, many of you want to fit in or feel like you belong. So you go with the flow. You think it's protection, but it's not. It's compliance. It's you denying your authentic self. And you can't authentically be yourself when you're following someone else. Clock it. I'm going to say that again. You think it's protection, but it's not. It's compliance. It's you denying your authentic self, and you can't authentically be yourself when you're following someone else. And I'm here to tell you 9 times out of 10, you don't want to follow other people because most people are lost. A lot of people are lost. Literally the blind leading the blind. And I know your mama gave you eyes. Disclaimer, I have nothing against blind people. I was just using that as an example. The reference, just using it as an example. But if you are still playing small, if you're still over explaining and people pleasing, baby girl, sweetie, darling, it ends today. It fucking stops today. If you are someone like me who has stopped those habits and you're working on the new you, let's talk. Let's chit chat. Let's get into it. We're going to break this down into two parts before we get into the nitty gritty. So what I just explained is what we call survival mode. You were in fight or flight mode, on autopilot, just dealing. And that is so harsh on our nervous systems. If you caught episode 4, I talk about your nervous system in episode 4 and how you can identify your stressors and triggers and learn how to cope with those so you can learn how to rebuild your nervous system. It's harsh on our nervous systems, and it doesn't allow space to stop and think about how we truly feel. It doesn't allow space or time for us to do shit. You can't even think straight when you are in survival mode. It's harmful to you. It's harmful to your kids, and it's creating a hard woman. And as women, we want to be soft. We want to be delicate. We want to be in a place where we can express how we feel with authority, not panic. So what we're stepping into is what we call growth mode. That's the second part, is growth mode. We have survival mode versus growth mode. Growth mode is where we want to be living and thriving. It allows us space to access, assess, and understand what we're feeling at the time. Growth encourages us to create a practical solution. Growth allows us to face our challenges head on and become confident in the decision or choice we make to solve that challenge or conflict. Clock it. I'm going to say it again because I know that just went over so many people's heads. Growth allows us to face our challenges head on and become confident in the decision or choice we make to solve that challenge or conflict. It allows us to be soft but solid. And I'm going to be honest, when you start tapping into growth mode, tap, 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 things will shift for you, baby. Your relationships with people will change. You will feel stronger, smarter, and more aware. And let me tell you, some people will not like that, but that isn't your problem. That has zero things to do with you. People will not like when you become more aware, smarter, stronger. They don't like it, but that's not your problem. So you let them deal with that. And I'm warning you now, this will set you aside and this will set you apart from most people, which in my opinion is actually a good thing because from my experience, we tend to grow more in solitude. We tend to grow more when we don't have other people's influences and opinions in our ear. So now that we know we want to be in growth mode, let's talk about the new woman you're required to be when you allow growth in your life. Let's talk about this new chick. Let's get into her. So she requires discipline. When you're transforming, you have to have discipline. There will be things in your behavior, routine, and perspective that you have to change. Because let's be honest, if you aren't changing, how are you growing? These changes don't have to be grand. Small, subtle changes, this is what I've learned. Small, subtle changes are just as effective. They're easier to implement and adapt to. They're easier to put into your routine and to change. Which in the long run, they're easier to stick with. When something is easier to adapt to and implement, you'll stick with it. You're likely to continue making small and subtle changes, and eventually they will become larger or bigger changes. But these subtle changes may sound familiar if you have tuned into my previous episodes about discipline. because again, this new woman, she's disciplined. But of course, we'll go over them again because repetition is our friend. The first act of discipline / change is we got to be waking up earlier. Getting up early allows us to get a head start on the day. I told you guys that I usually get up early to meditate and pray. And this works especially when you have children. For me, I get up around 5:30 to read my Bible app, meditate, and pray. It also allows me time to get ready before I wake my kids up. Mentally, you need that. As if you have kids. If you don't, you still want to get up early. But this is a game changer when you have kids, waking up early, because it allows you to get a head start on the day before they get up. Because that's a whole different ball game. The second act of discipline or change is taking care of your body / protecting your menstrual. Don't protect your menstrual. Taking care of your body / protecting your mental space. Listen, I will preach this till I'm blue in the face. Moving your body, going to the gym, eating healthy, and mindful mental health awareness is the best way to care for yourself, my love. Moving your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, which naturally make you feel good. Grounding yourself in nature is a plus. So something as simple as going for a walk outside can boost your mood, reduce stress, and improve your focus. Imagine you literally crashing out and all you have to do is go outside and walk for like 10 to 30 minutes and you come back in feeling like a brand new person. Like, why would you not do that? You know what I'm saying? Again, moving your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, which are the feel good. They're the happy neurotransmitters in your brain. They make you feel good. So moving your body in nature, moving your body period, but when you move it in nature, it's like a little boost, a little plus. It's always good for you, sis. The third discipline act or change is saying no without guilt. This is one of my favorite ones because I used to feel like I had to be a part of everything with everyone. I'm not afraid to say it. Again, I tell you guys, I give you guys the honest to God's truth when it comes to my life and the things that I've done to help you get on the other side of things or help you not make the same mistakes I did. But I used to feel like I had to be a part of everything with everyone. I had a fear that I was missing out if I wasn't there. I would make it a point to have myself in the mix, even if I didn't want to be there. Like, did you just hear that? I made it a point to have myself in the mix, even if I didn't want to be there. That's crazy work. As I started to shift and grow, I started to notice that I wasn't missing out on anything. Like, I don't know what I was scared of all those years because I was not missing out on a damn thing. I started to realize that I wasn't even attracted to the environment I was in. That's the crazy thing. I started to say no and spend more time at home because my social battery was low. I've always been like this. I'm a extrovert / introvert. Like, I can be outside for a certain amount of time and then I'm ready to go home. But my social battery was low. It would just run low quick too. Even if I didn't even if I did go out, I'm sorry. Like I said, after about like an hour, I was ready to go home. So that small change and small act of discipline, it helped me to shift something in my mind. You know, when things didn't sit right with my spirit or I just didn't feel like it, I would say no. And I do this now. This became a pattern and I started to feel good. I was preserving my social battery and didn't feel bad about it. I say no all the time now. You have to get used to using your discernment / judgment. Oh my God. That word discernment just does something to me. Makes me like tingly inside. You got to use your discernment and your judgment without feeling bad. So saying no to your partner, kids, family, friends, etc., it's okay. It is okay, my friend. And if they love you, they will be okay with your choice not to be involved or not to do something you don't want to do. So that leads me to my next point. Those were the 3 acts of discipline that you can implement: waking up early, taking care of your body, and protecting your mental space, and saying no without guilt. That leads me to discipline leads to boundaries. When you are a disciplined woman, you are a woman that has boundaries. Boundaries change your identity. So once you start setting boundaries, you can expect for some relationships you have to fall completely off. I just said this earlier when I was talking, that people are not going to like you moving more aware and smarter. They don't like that. So relationships are going to start to fall off. People will say that you're acting differently or you're standoffish, when in all actuality, you are protecting your peace. When you set boundaries, people tend to act like there is something wrong with you or like you did something to them. I'm literally going through this right now. I've set pretty clear boundaries that have been in place for over 6 months. So it's like, I don't understand what you don't understand. And you would have thought that I killed somebody's puppy. You would have thought that I did something wrong, when I'm just protecting my heart and protecting my peace and protecting what I am implementing and standing on. You would have thought that I committed a fucking crime. So, yeah, people will act like there is something wrong with you or like you did something to them. Don't let them make you feel like that. Do not let them make you feel like that. Again, it's not your problem. It's theirs to figure out. So setting boundaries forces people to respect you and your space. And again, I will say this again. Stand firmly in those boundaries you set. Stand firmly in those boundaries you set, because people will try to test them. They will try to overstep them, and you got to push them back down in that little zone. No, stay right here. You don't come up any closer. This is my boundary. You stay within what I'm allowing. So stand firm on that, my loves. People become uncomfortable when you stand in your authority. They become uncomfortable when you say, no, this is not going to work for me, which is absolutely insane. People become uncomfortable when you stand up for yourself, which is insane. Crazy work. Especially people that are used to having access to you and people that are used to you saying yes. So as I was stating earlier, you might start outgrowing environments, and that's okay. When I started to feel like I was no longer attracted to certain environments, I started to look for new things to do and new places to explore. So for you, you may want to check out things like day events. I absolutely love doing day events now. I like going out earlier and coming home earlier and being able to actually sleep. Like I told you a couple episodes ago, I have cut down on drinking. So when I'm coming home, the room is not spinning as I'm falling asleep. Like, that's just not the type of environment or space that I want to be in. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And then when I come home, I can sleep peacefully and soundly, because I didn't have 7 Mexican mules and I didn't have a million shots. We're not doing that anymore. So I'm able to come home and sleep a little better with the day events. I feel like you might want to also check out things like museums, galas, balls, art shows, etc. To each his own. I'm not telling you have to go to these things, but these are some of the things that I've noticed that may be a little bit more appealing to you if you are trying to transform into a high value woman who is disciplined with boundaries. Just saying, don't shoot the messenger. So you want to explore new people, network with like-minded individuals. Your boundaries aren't failure. They are you aligning with your true self. Clock it. I'm going to say it again. Your boundaries aren't failure. They are you aligning with your true self. And when you align, we all know what happens when you align. Shit just falls into place. It just falls into place. It's effortless. You're effortlessly doing you. Which brings me to your standards will scare the old you. Like who that? New phone, who this? Shifting into this new woman will scare the shit out of you. Just point blank, period. You may start to say to yourself, you're doing too much, you're being too strict, or you're being selfish. I told you that's that survivor's guilt and remorse. You actually think that it's bad that you survived and that you're okay and that you're becoming somebody new. Don't do that to yourself. This is the old you talking. You saying to yourself you're doing too much, you're being too strict, or you're being selfish. That is the old you. She is trying to talk you out of leaving her behind. And I'm telling you, ignore her. Ignore her, for she not know what she do. Ignore her. You're making her uncomfortable. And she hates the fact that you are leaving her behind. But that's okay. So just like those people we talked about trying to hold you back, we are our worst enemies. We also try and hold ourselves back. Don't do this to yourself. And like I discussed in episode 2, don't kill your progress because change feels different. Evolving is usually uncomfortable. It feels funny, but I want you to embrace it, feel it, love it, hug it. You know, it's yours. It's your journey. And so you gotta do what's right for you. Don't do what's right for the old you. Don't do what's right for those people that you're letting go. You got this. Self-respect requires standards. I'm gonna say that again. Self-respect requires standards. So with the reinvention is spiritual. With that being said, reinvention is spiritual. Reinventing yourself is more than just changing your look and persona, darling. It's spiritual. In episode 3, do we not talk about God and spirituality? It's a process that involves changing your mindset completely. Transformation requires self-awareness. It requires solitude, forgiveness, discipline, and vision. You have to give yourself grace. Align with your authentic self. Don't fight it. Don't fight your authentic self. The path of least resistance. Align with your authentic self. Like really tap in with her to know where she came from and where she is going. Because once you realize where you came from, you'll never allow yourself to go back. Practice peace by practice peace by spending more time with yourself. Forgive the old you and put her to rest. You gotta hold a silent funeral for the old you, because she doesn't have a place here anymore. Again, she's just going to try to talk you out of leaving her behind. So you have to have a silent funeral for that old person that you used to be. And you have to put her to bed, put her to rest. It's nighty-night for her. Time for her to go. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made along this journey. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made back then. You have to practice obedience and meditate. Co-create the life you deserve. Which that means meditate with the universe. See what you want your life to look like. Envision you doing whatever it is that you want to do. I envision me in a big, beautiful home with my children, happily, them running around the yard, us sitting down having dinner and conversations, me having an exceptional career with a lot of money. I vision my podcast just going bonkers. Like, these are the things that I meditate and that I co-create with the universe. So mark my words, it works, guys. It works. These are the things you have to work on. So I got some reflection questions for you guys before I go. And I want to know, what habits does the new version of you require? Ask yourself this. Get a piece of paper, write these down, and you can keep these for reference. The first question is, what habits does this new version of you require? Because when you write these down, you'll come back and you'll see, like, okay, all right, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you'll see how you're evolving and how you're stepping into that new version of you, because that's the plan, is to know who this woman is, what she does, what she looks like, and go ahead and show up as her. That's what you're supposed to be doing. The second question is, what old behaviors are you ready to release? This is another one that you can reference, because you can see your progress. Like, yeah, I checked that off the list. I don't do that anymore. Write these things down. The last reflection question is, what would the most powerful version of you change tomorrow morning? When you get up tomorrow morning, what are you going to do different that reflects this new person, this new woman, this disciplined, high value woman? Whatever you write down for number 3, that question, don't put it off. Do it tomorrow. Go ahead and do it. Show up as her. Watch how shit shifts for you. Watch how shit changes for you. So that's it, guys. Remember, becoming her doesn't happen overnight. It happens every time you choose peace over chaos, growth over comfort, and every time you show up as your future self. The goal isn't to intimidate others. That is not why we're here. It's to evolve so much that your old self wouldn't recognize the power you carry now. Thank you for joining me today. Here I guide women through discipline, self-development, meditation, and emotional regulation to create lasting transformation. By blending feminine softness with structured ambition, I teach women how to build divine bodies, regulated minds, and elevated standards. This is not chaotic growth. This is intentional evolution. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a woman who's also in her transformation era. And remember, healing, growth, and power can exist at the same time. Until next time, stay intentional, stay disciplined, do no harm, take no shit.